Weather shit had New York and New Jersey looking like the movie The Day After Tomorrow. Roads was flooded. Train stations was flooded.
I actually think I have my weather report stuff turned off, if I'm being honest.
I mean, you're the city manager.
No.
Why would you have your weather alerts turned off?
Hi lovelies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Verse or Belly channel. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload videos, you will be the first person to be notified. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and educate each and every one of us, you guys are the real MVP. So lovelies, I'm gonna be your today's host, and I have so many statistics to put up here, and we are gonna come out to talk about it. Alright lovelies, let's dive into today's video.
I actually think I have my weather report stuff turned off, if I'm being honest.
I mean, you're the city manager.
No.
Why would you have your weather alerts turned off?
We're in constant communication with emergency responders. So whether my stuff is on or not is really a moot point because we have teams of experts that can navigate these and that help us do our jobs.
State leaders tell me that when this upcoming special session happens, they're going to be looking at communications very closely, saying that for many of these summer camps, Savannah, they were only relying on cell phones to communicate with authorities. And when the storm moved in, that service was cut off, which essentially left those camps in the dark entirely, unable to reach authorities. In the meantime, the search efforts will continue here on the Guadalupe, still higher than normal.
Weather shit had New York and New Jersey looking like the movie The Day After Tomorrow. Roads was flooded. Train stations was flooded. Matter of fact, look at this shit. Look at this shit. Now, if you're from New York, you know the last time we seen some shit like this, it was Hurricane Sandy. And that's when shit was flooded like this. But look at how this one train station is flooded right here. Tell me if that's normal. Mind you, train stations were packed. You had people on top of people. You had some trains that wasn't even working. Look, she don't even have on no shoes. Then look at Jersey.
This is the corner of Mountain Avenue and Park Avenue in downtown Scotch
Tell me when you
Plains.
see some shit like
you
this
have a
in
New Jersey
before.
Transit bus stuck in the water, a Yankee bus, and a Scotch Plains ambulance.
I want you to tell me that this shit don't look like something from a movie. No, man. Something's going on. This shit crazy. I don't know what's going on beyond the skies, but something ain't right. We ain't never get no rain like this. Just from a regular storm. And then to top that off, in New York City, trees are down. There's a lot of people in Queens right now that's going through it. It's a lot of people in Midtown right now that's going through it. And y'all seen how Jersey was. This shit is crazy. I'm out.
Kerr County, Texas officials were offered $10 million in 2021 by the Biden admin to build a new flood warning system. They rejected the money because, and I quote, actual quote, Biden admin cannot be trusted. Accepting the money would turn us all into slaves. That's right. We don't want none of that FEMA money around these parts. You know, that's the Federal Enslavement Management Agency, partner. You spend this money, you are signing a contract with the devil, and that devil is in the White House. You ever notice how, Satan's always trying to improve infrastructure? Like a flood warning system, that's classic Lucifer right there. How fucked up is this cult where you think you're sticking it to Joe Biden by endangering all the children and all the people in your community? Like, you ever heard a Democrat mayor say, like, yeah, I'm gonna stick it to Trump by canceling all the maintenance contracts for all the traffic lights in my city? I'll show them. And by the way, they did end up taking the money. Not because, Kerr County officials suddenly discovered Che Guevara, but because they, quote, did not want the money to go to a blue state. Blue states, am I right? Probably used the 10 million to turn 10 million kids trans. They took the 10 mil and instead of installing a flood warning system, they blew it all on police upgrades and pay raises. Kerr County did not deserve this. Kerr County wouldn't deserve this if every single person in that town voted Republican. But it says a lot when a third of this country thinks an increased risk of a mass death event in their community is a worthwhile trade-off to own the libs.
Now, yo, look at this video.
Oh my fucking god. Oh my god.
Now, y'all, this is actual footage of about 45 minutes ago. I seen this came across my FYP. Y'all see how close the water is to the house? Now, hear me out, y'all. Instead of recording, y'all need to be in a vehicle and y'all need to be gone. Because there's no way I'll be looking at that water rushing. Because in about 2.5 seconds, that house is going to be underwater. And y'all will too. Y'all need to get out of there, baby. Y'all got to go. Because it's no way. Y'all see the house and y'all see the water, right? They got the phones out. It's no way. Baby, because when that water go to rising, the way how they say that water rising and within so many minutes, it's time to close shops and it's time to go. And TikTok, this is for entertainment purpose only. I'm only on here to bring awareness to my friends for educational purposes only. This is a video from somebody in Texas. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this video in the comments, because y'all be grown. Bye, y'all.
Do y'all see that it's flooding in Texas again? They ain't even recovered from the first flood, and it's flooding again. As of yesterday, I see that it's flooding again. Lord have mercy. They need much prayer. Much prayer, because it ain't gonna get no better, because it's raining everywhere. I'm in Florida and it's raining every day. It's raining, so it ain't gonna get much better. It ain't gonna get much better. So we're gonna have to, y'all stay safe out there, Texas, and we're gonna keep y'all in our prayers and keep everybody in our prayers, because it looks like it's just getting worse and worse. But Texas is flooding again. Y'all stay safe out there. I'm praying for y'all. And I hope y'all get the help that y'all need and deserve, because you're going to need it. And I pray that you get it. Y'all be blessed.
Why does it keep raining so heavily in Texas after another miserable night with very heavy rain early Sunday morning, about 6 to 10 inches of rain in parts of central Texas? What keeps causing this? Well, there are two reasons that I can see. One is that we're stuck in between two areas of high pressure. So we have one area of high pressure that's there on the eastern part of the Gulf of Mexico, and then another area of high pressure that's out over the west coast of the United States. So in between the two, we're in an area that is called a weakness in the ridge. You could also refer to it as a trough, and that's what I have drawn right there with that black line. So this is an area where the winds will create natural, what's called cyclonic shear. Basically, it's a long area, like a stretched out area of low pressure. In addition, we've had very high moisture levels that we call precipitable water, or PW values. Now, those have been really off the charts most of the last several days, most of the last couple of weeks, actually, across central Texas, ever since the weekend of the 4th of July, when we had an influx of moisture come in from the remnants of Tropical Storm Barry. And I really don't think that that moisture ever left the state. We still have extremely high moisture levels in place in the atmosphere, and when we measure this column of moisture that we can calculate as what's called precipitable water, you can think about it like a sponge. If you were to squeeze a sponge, how much water would come out? Well, if you had a saturated sponge, obviously a lot of water would come out. And if you were to go take a PW value in the desert, squeeze the sponge, almost no rain comes out. So we've had a very full type of atmosphere when it comes to how much moisture is in the air from the surface all the way up to the top. So you got the PWs, and until that line goes away, they're going to continue to be under the gun.
Let's take a trip to Kerr, Texas, a Picture square sketch of land home to rolling hills, quiet rivers, and apparently a political court that would rather drown than accept help from a Democrat. In 2021, the Biden administration offered $10 million in federal aid to Kankautin to build a state-of-the-art flood warning system. Let me repeat that, $10 million for flood alerts, not for gender studies, not for brag queen brunches, for infrastructures to warn people about flooding before their homes and lives are swept away. And what did the Carlton's official say? They said, and I quote, "The Biden administration cannot be trusted. Accepting the money will turn us all into slaves. Let that sink in." Floodwaters rising and these people worried about shackles from FEMA. They called it the Federal Enslavement Management Agency. This is beyond political theater. This is political self-harm dressed in patriot cosplay. Now let's connect the dots here. The people of Kenkautin were told, "Hey, take this money to protect your citizens," and the reply was, "No, thanks. We did rather drown than deal with the devil in the White House." Imagine if Democrat mayor somewhere said, "I am cancelling all fire department funding to own the Republicans." That mayor would be roasted rightfully. But here, this wasn't a protest. This was elected officials intentionally putting their community at risk just to score a false news segment. And now, in the present day, floodwaters have arrived. Torrents of rain, flash floods, homes underwater, lives uprooted, and the kicker, they ended up taking the money anyway. But not because they had a change of heart, not because they realized maybe water doesn't care about your voting record. No, they took the money because, and I quote again, "we didn't want to funds to go to a blue state." You cannot write this level of dumb. This is Hunger Games, but for red states, and the prize is dying with pride. Let's talk about what they did with the money. Did they build the flood alert system? No. Did they invest in infrastructures? No. They blew the $10 million on police department upgrades and law enforcement pay rises. Now, I'm all for safe communities, but when your people are swimming through their living rooms, maybe a new armored SUV isn't patriotic. Number one. This wasn't public safety. This was a flex. This was, we got the money from Biden, but we hasn't gonna use it for what he wanted. We are gonna back the blue baby. Meanwhile, the blue you are ignoring is the rising water line. You want to talk about American expectationalism? Let's talk about American expectationalism in willful self-destruction. There is a certain brand of politics today that strives off of rejection, rejects science, rejects federal help, rejects experts, rejects decency, and now people are drowning in the consequences. Literally, the flood footage making rounds on TikTok, it's heartbreaking. A woman recording the water lapping at the back door of a house, people standing on rooftops hoping someone comes to get them. But phones out, but no emergency alert. Because remember the system to warn them, it was never built. Let's pause and consider what a proper flood warning system would have done. $10 million would have gone towards sensors in the rivers, advanced radar alerts, public sirens, automated test alerts warning communities to evacuate. Lives could have been saved. Instead, the officials essentially said, "Nah, that sounds like a socialism." Let's be honest, this isn't about money, it's about control, it's about narrative, and in that narrative, any involvement from the federal government is viewed as sterling, even when it's literally trying to stop people from dying in their homes, even when it's trying to keep kids from being swept away in floodwaters. And the kickers of all kickers, they still blame Biden. Yes, after rejecting the money, then taking the money, then misusing the money, they blame the federal government for not doing enough. It's like setting your house on fire, locking the doors, calling the fire department, and when they show up, yelling, "See, this is government overreach." It's madness. This isn't governing, this is a political stunt at the expense of lives. And yet, these people get re-elected. Why? Because the culture war has replaced common sense. You don't need to protect your community, you just need to own the lips. Meanwhile, across the country, we are seeing the cause of this ideology. New York and New Jersey just got slammed with catastrophic floods, streets underwater, train station turned into aquarism. People were literally wading through subway tunnels, show of kids crying, but at least in New York and New Jersey they take infrastructure seriously. You didn't hear Mayor Adams saying we hasn't taken Biden's money, we will just drown with integrity. You didn't see New Jersey saying we are going to cancel emergency alert because we don't trust Freeman. But in Texas, that ideology has become policy. They did rather let it all flood, burn and collapse than accept the idea that sometimes government is good. Let's get into the psychology of this. Why are people so allergic to federal assistance? Why is farmer now treated like the deep states? Simple. Because right-wing media has spent decades convincing people that the government is your enemy. So when help is offered, it doesn't feel like help, it feels like a trap. It's 1984 cosplay in real life, and the sad part is regular working families are the ones paying the price, not the county commissioner who signed the rejection letter, not the sheriff who got a new cruiser, but the single mom who lost her home, the elderly man who couldn't get to higher ground, the kids who didn't hear a siren that was never installed. This is what happens with ideology overrules sympathies. When performance politics becomes more important than public service, you end up with a government that isn't governing, it's broadcasting. It's more concerned with what Fox News will say than what the National Weather Service says. And in the end, the storm doesn't care what party you voted for. Water doesn't check your voter registration before crashing through your front door. Climate change doesn't care about your values. It just comes, and when it comes, you better be ready. But in Kent County, Texas, they were not there and they choose not to be. The irony here is bitter because the same officials who rejected federal funds are the first to demand federal aid when the disaster actually hits. It's always small government until water's at your throat. Then it's where FEMA, why isn't the national guide here? You can't have it both ways. You can't burn the bridge and then get mad when no one crosses it to save you. At some point, we need to stop pretending this is just partial bickering. It's not, it's governmental malpractice and people are dying because of it. The sad truth is this. This will happen again, and not just in Kent County, in every corner of America where ideology has hijacked governance, where public servants have become influencers, where conspiracy theories win over science, where taking help is seen as weakness instead of wisdom. The next storm will hit, the next flood will rise, and some other county commissioner will reject help and call it freedom. And the cameras will roll again, and the people will cry again, and we will all ask, why does this keep happening? But we already know. So here is what I have leave you with. Real leadership isn't about owning the other side. It's about protecting your people, infrastructure, not political. Disaster relief is not political. Flood doesn't care about your flags. If your officials are more interested in proving a point than building a warning system, you need new officials because the next storm won't wait for politics to sort itself out. It will just come, and when it does, may we be wise enough to accept the help offered before the sirens are silenced and the warnings come too late.
And if you watched up to this extent, don't forget to please leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. So lovelies, why not just share your thought? Subscribe to this channel if you're yet to do that, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.